It's more than likely not for a lack of demand, and it's not even so much for a lack of available resources. Inflation's not paying that much of a toll on Starbucks in particular, okay? They can afford to flip out $15 for one of those talking heads that just have their gender studies bachelors to hand over your caramel macchiato for $15 an hour. They could really care less when it comes to the nuts and bolts of this stuff. But those people with those bad ideas, underemployed thanks to their worthless degrees, some of which that are better connected running the cities that have led to those same policies that those people would in fact hold themselves, are now reaping exactly what they sow. Because as you can see here, Starbucks CEO says stores are no longer safe in Democrat-run Seattle, Portland, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, and DC. Not just Democrat-run stores, okay? You got Washington, you got Oregon, Pennsylvania, California, and DC proper. Its entire areas, its entire states that are Democratic run and controlled, with some of the worst and most rampant violent crime going on right now. And, well, now it's starting to affect people's bottom line. The fact of the matter is they can't ensure their employees' safety in these places. And add on to the fact that, what was it, CVS or Dwayne Reed, you're having certain convenience stores also closed down with certain hours in San Francisco specifically, New York City as well, because of the inherent decriminalization of shoplifting. Petty shoplifting, right, under $950 you can basically get away with. And specifically in San Francisco, don't know how that's going to work out now that their district attorney has been successfully recalled, and some other, I don't know, he got replaced the old Disney way with a black woman, so we'll see how that all works out. That guy was a hunk of shit to begin with, so she's got to be, if she even can answer a question as simple as what is your name, you might be in a better spot than that previous hunk of shit. But bad policies have bad consequences, and case in point, this is just merely the first shoe to drop. American cities have abdicated their responsibility in fighting crime, said CEO of Starbucks Howard Schultz, who is a Democratic donor and a motherfucker who wanted to run under the Democratic banner for president. He at least thought about it, floated the idea in 2020, I do believe. Yeah, so this guy's like an uber Democrat, by the way. So no, he believes every fucking word that he's saying. And even if he's starting to admit that, yeah, we can't really have these stores open because, either we're getting robbed or everybody's getting harassed, or we just can't afford to repair this place whenever a black guy fleeing arrest ends up getting shot. We just can't do it anymore. I must say, in my view, at the local, state, and federal level, these governments across the country and leaders who controls basically all of the levers of power in these specific places? Yeah, no, exactly. You should probably just point and name them as such. Mayors and governors, city councils have abdicated their responsibility in fighting crime and addressing mental health. Yeah, no, exactly. Why don't they just, like you did when all of the race gimmicks started to pop up in June of 2020. Why don't you guys just offer a coffee and have a conversation with your barista? Why don't you just, considering you're going to be putting a bunch of people out of work, you're going to have a bunch of impromptu social workers out there on the street, and it should work for a new initiative for you, right? This Starbucks outreach program, right? Earlier in the week, Starbucks announced store closures in 4 Democrat-run states and the District of Columbia. Again, it votes like 95% Democratic. Anyways, so, and it has forever, and it always will be, okay? Even with McGovern and Mondale, their blowouts, okay, Washington, D.C., along with one state each, still voted blue, which should just really drive home any aspersions there. Breitbart News reported on the development. The Starbucks Corporation announced that it is closing 16 stores in the U.S. because of safety concerns for workers, including incidents of violence and drug use on their premises. All right then. Coffee retailer will close permanently 6 stores in Washington, Seattle, and 6 more in Los Angeles, California region. 2 stores will shutter in Portland, Oregon, and 1 store each in Philly and Washington, D.C. proper, not Washington State. Washington State and Seattle. Oh, I'm sorry, Seattle, Washington themselves, right? That's not 2 different places. My mistake, duh. But they're losing 6 stores. Wow. That's like home base for Starbucks. But I'd imagine they probably have like 20 or 30 of them anyway. So again, they're probably really close to Capitol Hill, I would imagine so, you know, where they set up a certain autonomous zone. Just spitballing, of course. Schultz spoke in an internal company gathering. We're going to have to refine and transform and modernize many of the things we do to meet the needs of our customers in a very changing operation environment in which customer behavior is changing. Blah, 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 blah. We can't have these stores open because hey, we're losing a lot of profits, okay? Schultz said America is now unsafe. Oh my God. It's almost like you cultivated this culture of fucking babies, okay? Now you're reaping exactly what you sow. And again, you know, I've known some people who have worked at Starbucks before. Apparently it's a nice place to work, or at least it was at the time. This is about a decade ago at this point, so things could have completely changed, okay? And their policies keep evolving even more progressively than several other places out there, so I reserve my right to be incorrect on this one. I'm just saying, we're not exactly losing some of the hardest working individuals of all time, okay? And as big businesses go, yeah, most of these people are probably just going to slot into another business because these are, of course, big cities. And there was that old meme back in the day. It's like there's a Starbucks on that corner and, oh, my back is actually to a Starbucks as well. So it'll be all right. And you know what? Hey, things like this continue to happen if these certain cities don't start to address their crime problem. You're just going to end up with a much more autonomized distribution method, because that's also what he's talking about here, okay? How can we cut out the middleman? How can we cut out that $15 an hour barista, okay? How can we just have a big kiosk of a bunch of different goofy flavors and sugar and syrups and all of the different, you know, day-old bagels that we can just force right the fuck in there and people can just type in B7 and then just get their little squirt in a cup and away they go. How can we get to that situation? Because for anybody who's ever operated a business, ever managed a business, you know your biggest financial expenditure is always going to be payroll, okay? 50 to 60% is normally payroll, and then everything else just needs to get paid off the side, okay? So if you can get back that, okay, if you can just have kind of like an old, oh God, here's an ancient reference. You guys remember Redbox? Okay, they used to be kind of the transitory phase between brick and mortar video rental store and then Netflix distribution model. I think Netflix even had a deal with Redbox at the time where you could just, it was just a stand-up, like a walk-in closet, right? Where you could just get whatever movie they had in distribution. You just press it out there. That's what all of these stores, okay? The Starbucks, okay? Tim Hortons in Canada. I think a couple of the northern states have Tim Hortons as well, okay? Dunkin' Donuts, they would just love to go to this type of a model, okay? Just have them in every lunchroom everywhere. Don't even have to worry about it. Just have somebody come around, okay? Have a serviceman come in and just fill up the old vending machine and away you fucking go, okay? That's what all of these fast food or easily convenienced service industries would ultimately like to go to. And again, I'm not shedding a tear for any one of these people because these are just starter jobs. At least that was the way that it was put across, right? Whenever you'd get like, okay, a job at Starbucks, that would just be kind of a stopgap thing if you're in school or something like that, okay? After high school hours, okay, or just while you have some spare time during college, you go down there so you don't have to take such an exorbitant amount of college debt or something like that. Or I remember the stories back in the day, or maybe it was even the commercials when it came to McDonald's specifically, right? Okay, you'd have for like a judge or a lawyer or a police officer come in and it's like, well, I started out my career when I was working at McDonald's and it instilled into me a strong work ethic and really gave me a leg up, and it always looked good on a resume because you could punch in at your certain time. It just showed that you were a good worker in the system that is McDonald's, okay? That's how it was lauded at the time, and now we see the degeneracy on display right here, because I was going to approach the story with a completely different lens, okay? And then I did a little bit of digging here, and this is what I came to on this one, okay? So, woman climbs into McDonald's drive-thru to cook her own order in viral video, okay? I was immediately going to approach this. It's like, you know, bitches and their entitlement, but it's like, you got to change things up every once in a while. Well, I still think that women are just ultimately over-entitled, and you know what, hey, she's probably going about it the wrong way. But if you have this many people working at the McDonald's behind the counter and they are no longer doing any more orders. If you're supposed to be open the entire fucking time, okay, if you can't operate, okay, just fucking close the bitch down. And the reason why they're not accepting any orders is the reason why I wanted to flip reverse my coverage of this story here. We're still going to get through the facts and all that kind of stuff, and maybe at the end of it we're going to figure out that the lady climbing through the window, which unfortunately whoever's running the camera should just be fucking slapped in the head, okay, with an ungloved hand, of course, because she's in a dress that's only like mid-thigh or something, and then you cut away as she's stepping through the drive-through window. What the fuck is wrong with you? But anyways, I kind of alluded to it in that rant right there, but the reason why these numerous workers aren't fulfilling any further orders, you can kind of see it in the little bit of a text debriefing on the video itself. Lady climbs through McDonald's window because they're not taking any more orders because we have no gloves. You don't have any gloves. You don't have any gloves, okay? Again, this is just the total degeneration of the entire hierarchy at this specific McDonald's. How do you not have any gloves? Okay, that is a poor management. Okay, that should just come. Okay, like I would imagine in these big industrialized franchises like this. I don't know if McDonald's is a franchise or not, like anything, like where you just own an operator, if it's an owner-operator gimmick, but whatever. Okay, I'd imagine you get all of your stuff all the time. Okay, you already have pre-purchased or pre-planned food orders that the likes of Cisco or Gordon Food Services just drops off. Okay, just a pallet of food, and then you just put it away in the freezer and all that stuff. I would find it highly dubious that all of the gloves, okay, a size larger or a size smaller, all of them are gone. I'm just thinking these people just didn't want to work anymore, but they still want $15 an hour, okay? Like, I haven't been inside of McDonald's. This isn't a flex or anything, but you know what? I was just thinking about this morning. It's like I stopped eating fast food 16 years ago now. When I was 16, when I had my, like, the little mental breakdown when I couldn't fit inside a triple XL t-shirt. Different story, different channel even. I already told that story before, but that's when I stopped, cold turkey when it came to all of this fast food stuff. But I hear tales that there's a lot more kiosks, okay, and it's kind of got a bit of an update. So you go to the kiosk, you punch it in the whatever little computer, and then you just get the little ticket and you wait for your order to be called, and then you come get it from the one person that's behind the till now, I guess, something like that. Okay, so they got rid of the days where it was just the big joke was that McDonald's cashiers are so stupid, instead of just having names for the different fare and the different combos on there, they'd have pictures of what it is. Okay, but now it's just to the point where we're not even going to put up with you just going to the back, you absolute medical marvel that you're even this stupid and you can still consistently breathe. Thanks, you just go to the back, okay? But now it's to a point where they're playing themselves, where if that's the setup that we have here, they aren't even doing their low-level job, which I would imagine they're probably getting paid handsomely for, because they don't have any gloves. I press X to doubt on this one. So as of right now, I'm on this woman's side because she's like, I just want to fucking order. I don't know. She's sticking up for her man. Big fucking ups when it comes to this, but I have no idea. Hopefully we get a little bit of insight on this one. Sometimes people go desperate lengths to get their hands on burgers and fries. A woman in a now viral TikTok climbed through a McDonald's drive-through window to get to the kitchen so she could cook herself food. God bless, just those female instincts just kicking in right there. What's that? Nobody's cooking any food? Well, looks like my services are required. Anyways, and the clip posted by user Greer. Oh, there was several people that were there, okay? And again, that's the best you could do? Fuck is wrong with you? Anyways, yeah. Said that because the fast food employees ran out of gloves, which again, okay, really, we're running out of just gloves. Disposable, maybe, more conventional oven mitts. Like, what are we talking about here? She asked for the manager's permission to begin her first day of training so she could make her own order. Okay, I'm kind of on her side right now, and it doesn't help, or it doesn't hurt the fact that, she really ain't that bad. Not that bad, okay? No simp, but, hey, she's cooking, she's flexible, and she's not that hard on the eyes. So, she got 3 points going for her. Okay, the video is since received. I don't care about that. It's TikTok, and TikTok views aren't real. Lady climbs through McDonald's windows. Yes, we already read the caption. The clip has transitions Oh, then transitions to her entering the kitchen, complete in an outfit consisting of a dress and heels and very little else, as she gets excited to learn the restaurant's chain's process. Yeah, I'm sure she's very excited, okay? But again, okay, oh, we can't take any more orders, but everybody has their fucking phone out. Are you serious? Like, I understand it's a little bit crazy for the fact that, yeah, man, you got this girl who's fresh off the prom. Like, I know we're a little late in the year for that, or maybe it's just starting to make the rounds right now, but it's like, okay, she's ready to go in. And again, if she's talking to the manager, like the actual manager, and they don't have the capacity to just go get some fucking gloves so they can operate their business, like, this shit is fucking whack. These are some folks that just want to collect a paycheck and not do their fucking job. I wouldn't imagine that this is the first time that this incident has happened either, okay? Again, I'm just gleaming into some of this stuff here. Most of the employees are seen in the background trying to hold in laughs because of how determined the woman is for McDonald's. However, there is no footage of her actually cooking, and viewers are hoping she got what she wanted. Yeah, no, exactly. So did she get her Mickey D's or what? One person commented. Others were glad to see that there was finally positive interaction between fast food employees and their customers. Previous incident resulted in one McDonald's employee making a customer leave the drive-thru because of how rude he was. I'd have to look at that story specifically to take a side on that one. Finally, all laughs and no fighting. Good to see people cool and chill and need to be understanding more often. No, exactly. My ire lays directly with the employees there who are just too busy on their phones. Like, oh, we ain't got no gloves. You just have to go somewhere else. There's like a Burger King down the street or something like that if you want something, but we ain't got no gloves, anything like that. Could you fucking imagine? If you can't take orders, close your fucking store. It's not that hard, okay? This is just the degradation of your modern service worker. It used to have some sort of a standard, and now it's just degenerated. So if more stores start to close, I'm not going to shed any tears over this one, okay? I can show you one person in all of this, okay, who's still going to consistently have a job, somebody with a can-do attitude. I appreciate this little girl right here, okay, and I especially appreciate her ability to adapt to a certain situation. Let's go with that. With all of that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.